Welcome to this yoga practice inspired by the energy of spring. So it's a spring awakening, celebrating the days getting longer, the new growth that's happening all around, the birds singing, the trees blooming, the flowers coming out. And it's like a coming out of the dormancy of winter and the darkness of winter. And it's really like a celebration of life, a celebration of new energy, and it's really inspiring to kind of take that spring energy and bring it inside of you and use it to express yourself as we move through these yoga poses, focusing on our breath, focusing on strength, flexibility, being graceful, and really listening to our bodies on a deep cellular level. So let's start by closing our eyes. Bring your attention from the outer world to your inner world. Breathe in and out through your nose. And soften your breath as much as possible. You can keep your eyes closed or open them. Keep focusing on your breath and begin to move your fingers. So starting bringing the pinky finger in all the way to the thumb, making a fist, and then rolling your fingers outward. And just see if you can make a nice rippling, flowing action that just kind of each movement flows from each other. And we'll just do that a couple more times. Now bring your arms out to the side. We're going to work from the shoulders, rolling the shoulders in and out. So the hands follow the shoulders. Just feeling this nice, gentle movement, kind of warming the shoulders up. And reach your arms up, interlace your fingers, flip the palms up. And then release your hands, bring your arms out to the side. Now bring your palms together with the fingers facing down. And then rotate the palms up. Separate your middle three fingers, so just the thumb and the pinky finger are touching, and reach up. And this is like a representation of the lotus flower, rising out of the darkness and going back into the darkness. And then floating back up again. A sign of life, even like a feeling of immortality. Next time the hands come down, interlace the fingers, and we'll do some wrist waves. So starting from your right elbow, ripple across to the left. You really want to get some nice wrist movement in here. And think of just a wave and energy flowing from one side to the other. Now let's lead from the left elbow across to the right. And take time to really lift the wrists up. So there's a deep bend in the wrist. And you're just really kind of following the energy. Bring your arms out to the side and cactus your elbows. Take a big breath in here. And then rotate the shoulders forward so the fingers point down. Bring your hands behind your back. Pull the elbows forward so the shoulders come forward, and then pull them back. Lift your arms out to the side again. And rotate up. We're just going to repeat those movements a couple more times. So arms come into cactus, and then they rotate downward, come inward, rotate the shoulders forward, rotate them back, lift the elbows back up again, and come back into cactus. And this might feel a little bit like, I don't know, stiff or tight, or you might feel a little bit of ropiness in your shoulders. And just see if you keep moving, if the movement kind of smooths that energy out. We'll just do one more. Elbows forward and then back. And reach your arms up out to the side. Interlace your fingers and press the palms up as you root the tailbone down. Release your hands. Bend your right elbow, bring your right hand behind your back, And bring the left elbow in by your side. Bend the elbow, reach your hand up your back. Try to keep your head back, don't let it drop forward. So keep your spine nice and long. Take a big inhale here and exhale, twist to the left. Release your hands, bringing your right hand to your left knee. Let your left hand reach behind you. Inhale back to center, reach your arms up. Then bend the left elbow, reaching your left hand behind you. Right arm reaches out to the side. Bend your elbow, bring it in. Maybe your hands touch, maybe they, imagine they're touching. Take a big inhale here, getting taller, and then your exhale, twist to the right. Release your hands. Left hand comes to the right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale back up again. And exhale, slowly float your arms down by your side. Let's come onto our hands and knees in tabletop. First, just move your body around any way that feels good. And then come back to a neutral position. Grip the mat with your hands so that your arms are engaged. And start to tilt your pelvis back and forth. These are not full cat-cow movements, just nice, gentle, slow, easy movement. And start to add on. So you add the rib cage. So the low back and the rib cage, the lumbar spine and the thoracic spine. And then we'll add the cervical spine in. So add the head and the neck in. And just keep the cat-cow waves going. And tuck your toes and reach back into your down dog. And begin to bend one knee at a time. On your next inhale, reach the right leg up, reaching up through the inner thigh. Reach your leg nice and high, coming up onto your left hip toes. And stack your hips, bend your knee, squeeze your heel in towards your hip. And then straighten it out. And squeeze it in. And straighten out. Squeeze it in, straighten out. Bring your right foot behind your left foot, bending your left knee. Place your right toes down and reach your right heel toward the ground. Push down and forward through your hands and reach back through your hips and your heels. And come back into your down dog. Inhale, reach the left leg up. Lift up through the inner thigh at first and reach up through your right toes. Then stack your hips and bend your knee. Pull your heel in towards your hip and straighten the leg. 2 more times. Bend, hugging in, and straighten out. 1 more time. Bend, hugging in, straighten out. Bring your left foot down to the outside of your right foot, bending your right knee. Stretch your left heel toward the ground. And come back into your tabletop. So we'll do a little bit of core work here. So inhale, reach your right leg up. Exhale, bend your knee, bring your knee to the outside of your right arm. And then stretch it back again. Exhale, bend your knee, hug it in, bring it to the back of your right arm. And stretch back. Exhale, hug it in, see if you can tap your knee to your nose. And stretch back. Exhale, come across. Bring your knee over to the side. Reach back. This time we're going to step our foot all the way forward into warrior 1. Back heel comes down. Rise up. And just do little pulses here. So you're pulsing your knee forward and look and make sure that you're driving your right knee in line with your toes, especially the second toe. Keep rooting down through that left heel as you pulse forward through the right knee. And bring your right hand behind your back, reaching your hand up your back. Bend your left elbow, maybe the fingers touch. Lift your back heel up, spin open, coming into warrior 2. And keep your left hand behind your back, release your right hand and reach back. Reverse your warrior. And then come all the way forward, straighten your front leg, reach forward, finding your triangle pose. You could use a block here if you have them. Open up. Squeeze your right glute underneath your body so that instead of your butt sticking out and your shoulder rounding forward, kind of opening up the shoulder, hugging that right hip in underneath you. Make any little adjustments that you need to feel safe and comfortable and like the energy of spring, kind of light and open. Bend your front knee forward, come back up into warrior two. Reach back, reverse your warrior, and we'll cartwheel the arms and step back, downward facing dog. Take your time here, move around, ground yourself. And inhale, reach the left leg up, come high up onto the right tiptoes. Bend your knee, bring your knee in, see if you can tap the outside of your arm. Come back into your down dog splits. Exhale, come forward. See if you can tap the back of your arm and stretch it back. Exhale, come forward, knee to nose and stretch back. And exhale, come forward, right, left knee over to the right arm and stretch back. And we'll come into warrior one. Rotate the back heel down, reach your arms up. And little pulses here, so you're pressing a little more forward and then releasing back. So you get a big stretch as you come forward. And a little release as you let your knee come back a little bit. So just really smooth, gentle, nothing jagged or fast, but just so you can feel the difference. And coming into warrior one, bring your right hand behind your back, reach your hand up your back. Bend your left elbow, reach back, maybe your fingers touch. And lift the back heel up, open up warrior two. Release your hands, keep your right hand behind your back, reach your left arm back. Keep the legs nice and active. And then begin to send your hips back, straightening the left leg. Try and keep the right shoulder open as you come into your triangle pose. Again, try and bring this left hip underneath you. So toward the right a little bit, and then open up through the right shoulder. And take a few more breaths here. Bend your front knee, come back up into your warrior two. Reach back, reverse your warrior, and cartwheel your arms, step back, down dog. Lower your knees to the floor, lower your forearms to the floor. Slide your feet back, coming into Sphinx pose. Reach your tailbone towards your heels to lengthen the low back. Actively press down into the mat with your hands and isometrically pull your hands back to bring your chest forward, opening up across the chest. And tuck your toes, lift your hips up. You can always keep your knees down. So we're coming into forearm plank. Try not to stick your butt up, but curl it under. Press into your hands and squeeze your legs in towards each other. You can do a little rocking back and forth if you like. Remember to keep breathing. Then we'll hold it here for like another 10 breaths or so. I always like to remind people that if you put this in perspective, the world record for forearm plank by a woman is over 4 hours, which seems pretty inconceivable to me, but it's true. So we're going to be doing this for less than a minute probably. Now lift your hips up, walk your feet forward, coming into a dolphin prep. See if you can you can bend your knees as much as you need to and press your ribs back towards your legs. Keep pressing into your hands, hugging your arms in towards each other. And then you can step back into your forearm plank. Lower your hips down, slide your hands back, press your feet into the floor, open up cobra. Take your time to make those little adjustments that feel really good. And lift your hips up, slide back into child's pose. Let your forehead rest on the floor. Come on back up into tabletop. Bring your right hand out to the side a little bit and reach your left toes toward the floor. Arc your ribs up and reach your left fingers toward the floor. And reach your arm and leg up. So this is like a baby half moon. We're going to practice half moon next. So you want to keep this top leg strong. You can flex or point your toes. Open up across the chest and lift out of this bottom shoulder. Then bend your knee, reach back for your foot, and kick your foot back, stretch your knee back, press your heart forward. And see if you can find just that right amount of forward and backward energy. Then we'll release the foot, step it all the way forward, coming into a twist to the left. Bring the left hand down, and here would be a nice place to use blocks if you want. And stretch your left knee forward over your toes. And shift your weight back, coming into a runner's lunge. You're welcome to take this deeper into splits if you want, but if you decide to do splits, take it nice and slowly. Keep hugging the legs in towards each other. So you're doing this with control and a sense of support through your legs. You're not just falling into this split if you choose to go in a little deeper. And then come back up into your tabletop and do the same thing on the other side. So if you bring your foot out to the side, it's easier. It acts like a kickstand. If you keep it more in line with your knee, it works on your core strength and your balance a little bit more. So bring your left hand a little out to the side. Stretch your right toes back, lift up through your right ribs, and reach your right fingers toward the floor. So you're creating a big, like a rainbow arch. And bring your arm and leg up. Keep the top leg strong. Lift out of the bottom shoulder, maybe a little soft bend in the elbow. And bend your knee, reach back for your foot. Pull your knee back and kick your foot back as you reach your chest forward. And step your right foot forward so you're twisting to the right. Bring your right hand down, press your right knee forward. Keep the back leg active. You could even play with bringing your kneecap off the floor a little bit and then lowering it down, squeezing it in and relaxing. There's always a little bit of movement, even when we're holding a pose. And stretch back into your runner's lunge. You can move your hips around here, any kind of movement you want. But be mindful, keeping your legs active and not just flopping into something. And if you want to try working towards your split, do it slowly and listen to your body. It wouldn't be unusual for one side to feel tighter than the other. So this, my right side, feels quite a bit tighter than my left. So I'm still trying to square the hips even though they're stretching apart from each other for the split. And come back into your tabletop. We'll do some spinal waves. So starting with the tailbone, lift the tailbone up and ripple the heart forward. Tuck the tailbone under, round your spine. And turn inwards. Inhale, open up. Reaching outward, forward, and exhale. Curl the tailbone under, going inward. And just do that a couple more times. Nice. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. And we're going to play with half moon here. So we already practiced it like a baby half moon on our hands and knees. It's really nice if you have a block for half moon because it helps you to align your spine and keep your weight back into your heel a little bit more. And on your next inhale, reach your right leg up and reach up through the inner thigh. And then step your foot all the way forward. You can use a block or not, but you want to make sure that your hand is not reaching too far forward. That'll throw your alignment off, your balance off. So lift and spread your toes, plant down through your foot, engage your arch, and then begin to float your back leg up, stacking the hips, stacking the shoulders. And try not to rely on the bottom hand too much. Really engage the top leg and see if you can open up across your chest, maybe even gaze up toward the sky. Again, you want to keep as much weight out of the bottom hand as you can and really engage your legs to make this happen. You could even play with bringing your top hand down, really squeeze those glutes and maybe bring the bottom hand up. And lower your hands down and step back into down dog. Give yourself a nice long stretch here. Inhale, reach the left leg up. Come up high onto your tiptoes and squeeze your knee into your chest to step your foot forward. So I'm not going to use a block for demonstration purposes this time, but if you choose not to use the block, you have to really resist the weight into the bottom hand, bottom arm, because it's going to tilt you forward more and bring more weight there. So you have to reach out through your toes even more. Squeeze the glutes, activating the glutes. And you can play with that prayer position. Bring your top hand down, bottom hand up. And lower your hands down, step back, down dog. And walk your feet forward. Lift and spread all your toes, and keeping them spread apart, lower down. Sink your hips down and lift up. So keep your legs engaged as you sink down. And see if you can start to go a little bit lower each time. You can even bring your elbows to the inner knees and press out into the knees, squeeze the knees into the elbows. It really helps to activate the legs more. We're going to slowly come down into a squat. We're trying to keep the squat more active, which makes it more of a thigh burner here. And slowly keep hugging in, let your back round. You can use your hands behind your back if you need to, but otherwise see if you can just gently lower your hips down and float your legs up into Navasana boat pose. And stretch your legs out as you lower your chest down back to the floor. Hug your knees into your chest and circle your knees. Reverse the direction of your circles. Bring your feet to the floor as wide as your mat. Open your arms out to the sides. Begin to windshield wiper your knees from side to side. And bring your knees up, hold the back of your legs, tuck your chin, and begin to rock gently back and forth. And then lower your hips down, float your arms up and your legs up into dead bug pose. Relax the back of your shoulders to the floor. Relax your fingers and toes. And begin to flex and extend your hands and your feet. Start to circle, seeing if you can synchronize your hands and your feet. Reverse the circles. And give yourself a little hug. And we'll stretch out for a short Savasana together. Feel free to wiggle around a little bit. Even see if you can press your low back in toward the floor. Relax your palms upward and just soften here. Focus on your exhales getting longer and your breath being really short. Really soft. I meant to say breath soft, soft and long. And see if you can feel the lightness of spring in your body. And feel the sensation of the spring air touching your skin. Let your rib cage soften, meaning soften it, letting it float more downward into the floor. Let's see if you can feel the sensation of everything being relaxed. And you can stay here longer if you like. Otherwise, you can bend your knees and gently roll to your side and roll back up to a comfortable seat. And take a moment to close your eyes. And give gratitude for this spring awakening, for this renewal of life, for this, like all the energy and the growth that comes with the springtime. Please bring your hands together in front of your heart. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for this practice. I really appreciate your time and your energy and your focus. I hope you feel like just that joyous feeling of spring, full of gratitude, full of energy and life and sound, bird song. And I would love it if you would leave a comment below, share this with your friends, hit the like button, and I will hopefully see you again soon. Bye.